What is the most embarrassing thing you could admit about yourself on Reddit but never in real life? About a month ago I was walking down the sidewalk in Brooklyn when a group of high school kids on a school bus yelled, "Hey, what up, bitch?" and other obscenities at me during a red light. I turned my head and yelled out, "I fuck your mother," back at them. They stopped for a moment, seemingly taken aback by what I had said. "You fuck my mom?" one of them asked. And I, while still walking down the sidewalk, said, "Yes, I do." They became even more silent as they stared at me walking. Suspiciously silent. Just as I turned my head back towards the direction I was walking in, I slammed my face into a pole, and the entire bus erupted in laughter. The one kid had successfully stalled me from seeing the pole in front of me by repeating my comment back to me as a question, and then simply watched me as I watched him watch me walk into a metal pole. The light turned green and I could hear their laughter down the street. That kid deserved to win, and I hope he never forgets that moment because I probably won't. That kid sounds like a crafty fucker. He'll either grow up to be a charming criminal or a district attorney. What's the difference, am I right? Well, the DA is more like a charging criminals kind of guy instead of a charming criminal one. I believe in Harvey Dent. What a legend. But at least you got to fuck his mother. I fully expected this to end with "Then I turned around and noticed a St. Mary's Orphanage sign on the side of the bus and all the kids crying, then one saying, 'Daddy.'" A comic interpretation of the story. http://i.imgur.com/sparkskulls.j. Pretty accurate, to be honest. Lol. This was a great story. I completely understand that embarrassment of hitting something, pole, wall, etc., when you least expect it. It makes me feel so dumb and clueless. Ha ha ha, great story. I love it. Look at that high-waisted man. He's got feminine hips. That's the thing I'm sensitive about. Up until I was 18 I believed that if your hand was bigger than your face you had cancer because my cousin never finished a prank on me. He told me this when I was 9. The long con. That's the best version of that prank I ever heard. Yeah, holy shit, just think about that. I thought cantaloupe was some sort of animal from Australia. Cantaloupe? An antelope with a negative attitude. Cantaloupe? An antelope that can't run off and get married with its partner. Cuntaloupe? An antelope who's a real cunt. Cantaloupe? An antelope with a positive attitude. I used to hump the floor as a kid before I knew what masturbation was. I had no idea why it felt so good. I was shocked and concerned the first time jizz came out. But that didn't slow me down.
Female here, I did the same. Female 25, still preferred method of autoerotic stimulation.
You must have a very strong core by now.
Lol, yes, and thighs, and buttocks.
You should approach a gym and propose this radical new core workout. How is this not more upvoted? I used to put my crotch under the bathtub for us. I started when I was 4. Why did you stop? I found a better way. When I was younger I had a bunch of superhero trading cards. I used to take the female ones and put them in my pants in the front. So they'd touch my penis. I like how you went on to describe why. I like how he pretends he doesn't still do it. I like how he pretends he doesn't still do it. He still does, but he also used to. He still does, but he used to too. Not only have I already been caught lifting a dead guy's joke, I've been corrected. Shit. I enjoyed your take on it as well. I like how we're pretending that we're not doing it right now. My bladder can hold gallons of piss. I can go on for minutes. It's because I was too scared to use other toilets than the one at home when I was young. It adapted. Now I'm bladder man. In the once, the nurses had to insert a catheter because of other reasons. They had to switch out the initial bag. And the final measurement was over 2 liters. I have a freaking soda bottle inside of me. Sadly, I'm jealous of this. I'm a religious hydrator, which comes at a price for my teacup bladder. I also don't even like the sensation of just kinda having to go, especially if I'm eating. Bastards. I'm known for a 4-ounce bladder. I get up twice a beer when hanging out with friends. This has been bringing laughter to our group for 10 fucking years now. I don't dare to go on a 2H plus bus ride before having at least 3 hours of zero water intake.
My boyfriend and I had never even farted in front of each other, but that was before our anniversary. My boyfriend took me out to an extremely classy and expensive restaurant for our 1-year anniversary. I was wearing a little black dress and somehow mentioned that I wasn't wearing anything underneath. Great food, and about $100 later, we were getting ready to leave. My boyfriend whispers in my ear that he can't wait to get me home, and I agree. About 10 minutes away from his house, I start feeling nauseous and like I need to take a huge dump. I tell him I don't feel good and to speed home. About 2 minutes later, I can't take it anymore, so I tell him he needs to pull over. He asks if I needed a bag while I'm writhing in pain, and I scream, "I need to get out or I am going to shit myself." He immediately stopped. I ran into the woods and explosively diarrhea everywhere, followed by throwing up my entire expensive dinner. To make matters worse, a car came around the corner and probably saw me with my dress hiked up around my waist, shitting in the woods. Needless to say, when I got back to the car, my boyfriend was as pale as a ghost and didn't know what to say to me. As I got in the car, he hands me a towel and says, "This is to sit on since you're not wearing any underwear." When we got to his house, I immediately went to bed alone, saying that I was still nauseous when in reality I was so embarrassed that I didn't want him to see me cry. The only person I have ever told this story to is my mom, and I will never tell it to anyone. When asked about how the date went, I replied that it was a perfect night.
My girlfriend once farted on my dick when we were sleeping while cuddling. Like, a powerful, loud one. I was only semi-asleep because I hate cuddling, and it surprised the fuck out of me. I shot up straight, and her head shot up halfway with me since it was resting on my. She didn't wake up, not even a half-asleep groan. I laughed a lot, then turned around and went to sleep.
She did wake up, thought it best to fake sleep and pretend it never happened. Oh yes, faking sleep is always the route I take when this happens. The longest I had to ever fake sleep was like 2 hours. Fuck that shit. You even start to regret it after 10 minutes and can't just say you were pretending because you are far too in. LMAO, the struggle is real. You can always give it a few minutes and pretend that a noise downstairs woke you up.
Isn't that exactly the reason why you were pretending to sleep in the first place?